We believe in the idea of the soulmate, the one person who completes us. This is perhaps the cruelest, most exhausting myth ever told about modern love. You see, you have placed an impossible, almost theological burden on one human being. You expect your partner to be your safety, your certainty, your best friend, your parent, and the source of all your forbidden adventure. This is not just unrealistic, it is psychologically destructive. The moment you demand that one vessel carry all your identity, your need for intellectual challenge, your need for domestic predictability, your hunger for erotic mystery, the vessel begins to sink. And you wonder why the relationship, which started with such vitality, now feels like a warm, predictable, and ultimately suffocating prison. The search for the one is the very thing that guarantees profound loneliness. It forces you to suppress the parts of yourself that need oxygen outside of the couple. I want to show you how to redesign your emotional ecosystem, not by demanding more from your partner, but by demanding more complexity from your life. This is not about cheating. This is about being fully human. We come to love seeking shelter, a steady harbor in the storms of existence. We want the anchor. We want the certainty that, regardless of the chaos outside, the geopolitical anxieties, the career failures, the existential dread, we have a home base. A person who sees us, knows us, and will not leave us. This is the profound promise of security. But the human soul, it is built for motion. It is built for the waves. We crave aliveness. We crave the unexpected vista, the risk, the journey into the unknown territory. This is the paradoxical contradiction at the very heart of long-term intimacy. You are asking one structure, the relationship, to perform two entirely opposing functions simultaneously, to be the ultimate source of safety and the ultimate gateway to adventure. And this is the thing. Desire cannot thrive where knowledge is absolute. Desire requires distance. It requires imagination. It requires a moment where the other person is still slightly unpredictable, still potentially a stranger. Safety, conversely, requires proximity. It requires familiarity. It requires the absolute certainty that you know exactly what will happen next. You see the problem, don't you? You cannot want passionately what you already fundamentally own. You cannot be enthralled by the person who has become the wallpaper of your life, the background hum of your stability. Imagine your partner. You know the exact crease in their favorite shirt, the way they sip their morning coffee, the precise sound they make when they are irritated. This person is your trusted history. They are the shirt they wear every day. Comfortable. Worn. Essential. And then, one evening, they surprise you. They are dressed up, polished, slightly distant, ready for the world you don't share. They are not just yours. They are suddenly other. And in that sliver of distance, in that moment of rediscovery, desire, that feeling of vitality has room to breathe again. The tragedy of the modern couple is that we demand that one person be both our village and our mystery. We ask them to be our domestic co-parent, the financial planner, the therapist, the historical witness, the housekeeper, and the best friend. That is the village. It requires transparency, collaboration, and relentless communication. And then, in the same breath, we demand they remain the thrilling stranger, the forbidden territory, the erotic engine that drives our fantasy life. That is the mystery. It requires opacity, distance, and the preservation of secrets. This expectation, this burden is impossible. It is not a failure of love, it is a structural failure of expectation. You are asking your anchor to simultaneously be the wind in your sails. And you wonder why you feel stuck, or why you sometimes look outside the harbor for air. We are brilliant at building the home. We seek comfort, consistency, and the soothing predictability of the known. We construct the scaffolding of shared life, the mortgages, the routines, the rituals of the evening. We are relentless in our pursuit of safety, and this pursuit, this is the work of love. Love thrives on proximity. It strives to eliminate distance, to bridge every gap, to know the topography of the other person's soul completely. Love asks, asterisk, are you there for me? Will you hold me? Asterisk, it is the ultimate reassurance. And we achieve it. We merge. We become a seamless we. But this beautiful achievement, this fusion, is precisely what extinguishes desire. Because desire operates on an entirely different logic. Desire does not ask, "Are you there for me?" Desire asks, "Who are you when you are not mine? Who do you become when I am not looking?" Desire is inherently fueled by distance, by the space between two people. It needs a gap to jump across. It needs the unknown to be compelling. And this is the thing. We confuse the total obliteration of the self with true intimacy. We think that knowing every thought, every feeling, every scheduled appointment of our partner is the height of connection. We succeed in becoming transparent, entirely legible to each other. But how can you yearn for what you already possess entirely? How can you chase a mystery when you are holding the solution in your hand? This is the mechanics of the slow, quiet death of passion in committed life. Fire needs air. If you smother the flame with too much closeness, if you eliminate all the oxygen of ambiguity and separateness, the fire does not just shrink, it goes out. It becomes a warm ember, perfectly functional for heating the house, but incapable of leaping or burning. We trade the exhilarating possibility of the stranger for the reassuring familiarity of the roommate. And we do this out of love. This is the tragic paradox. We achieve the security we craved, and then we stand in the safety of our fulfilled longing, wondering where the vitality went. Imagine you are sitting on the couch, side by side. You are discussing the school fees, the leaky faucet, the logistics of the weekend. You are a magnificent, efficient team. You reach out, and you touch their knee. It is comforting. It is lovely. It is home. But the moment you touch them, you realize you know exactly what they will say, what they will do, and where their mind is firmly fixed on the to-do list. There is no tremor of the unexpected. There is no otherness. You see, we have successfully turned our partner into our historical witness and co-manager. And the erotic cannot survive where everything is perfectly managed. The erotic needs a bit of chaos, a little bit of risk, and the acknowledgement that the person beside you is, fundamentally, unknowable. The problem is not a lack of love, it is an excess of proximity. It is the mistake of assuming that love and desire are synonyms. They are not. Love is the shelter. Desire is the journey outside the shelter. And you realize you have built a perfect prison of two. You are safe. You are secure. And you are, perhaps for the first time in your adult life, profoundly bored. The challenge is not to find a new person to generate the mystery, but to manage the necessary friction between the village and the mystery within the relationship you already have. It is not a problem to be solved, it is a paradox to be managed. It requires the courage to reintroduce distance, to allow your partner to be separate again, to be another, to allow them to maintain secrets, not of betrayal, but of the self. To let them walk out of your perfectly illuminated domestic circle and watch them shimmer, briefly, in the light of their own autonomy. Only then can the air return to the flame. We must begin by reversing the gravitational pull that makes us believe that knowing everything about our partner is the ultimate goal of intimacy. It is not. It is the death of desire. You see, we confuse security with total transparency. We believe that if we know every thought, every feeling, every password, we are safe. And we are. But safety, when it is complete, leaves no room for the question mark. And desire requires the question mark. The solution, therefore, is an act of deliberate resistance against the domestic merger. It is the courage to reintroduce the distance you fought so hard to eliminate. It is the mature acceptance that the beloved person next to you is not your property, not your reflection, and not a problem to be solved, but a vast, autonomous world unto themselves. We must learn to look at our partner again, not through the lens of shared utility, the mortgage, the childcare schedule, the logistics, but through the gaze of the stranger. Imagine this scene. You are at a crowded event. Perhaps a conference, a gallery opening, a party. You are separate for a moment, talking to different groups. You turn your head, and you see your partner across the room. They are standing there, engaged in a conversation with someone you barely know, a colleague, a new friend, maybe a rival. They are animated. They are leaning forward. They are using hand gestures you don't often see at the dinner table. They are shining. And for a brief, electric second, you realize, I do not know the person who is speaking. This is the version of them that exists outside your shared structure. The person who is powerful in their work, the person who is witty with strangers, the person who holds secrets that have nothing to do with betrayal, but everything to do with their inherent, sovereign self. They are embodying their self in the world. And what happens? You feel a surprising, delicious surge of curiosity, of desire. They are separate again. They are autonomous. They are momentarily unavailable. And that unavailability, that mystery, is the catalyst. This is the bridge back to desire. The bridge to desire, you see, is imagination. In long-term love, we must stop settling for the known facts of the person. We must actively, consciously cultivate the space for the unlived lives of our partners. We must hold the potential, the possibility, the parts of them that remain forever elusive. We stop imagining them. We stop asking, who are you today? Who are you becoming? Instead, we project the archive of who they were onto who they are, and we expect them to conform to the established narrative. But desire is sustained by friction. It is sustained by movement. You must grant your partner the space to walk out of your perfectly illuminated domestic circle and watch them shimmer, briefly, in the light of their own autonomy. It is an act of profound vulnerability to trust separateness. It takes maturity to understand that cherishing distance does not diminish intimacy, but protects it. This is the mature paradox of enduring relationship. You must accept that you will never fully possess them. You never possess them in the beginning. You only possess the idea of them. And so, the mature solution is the continuous, necessary dance of letting them go, allowing them their independence, their secrets, their other interests, their solitude, so that they may choose, freely and repeatedly, to return to the shared hearth. We are one and we are two. We are home and we are traveling. It is not a destination. It is the intelligent management of the vital tension between the need for security and the inherent, human craving for adventure. This is how the air returns to the flame. And so, we arrive at the central, devastating truth of modern romance, the quiet admission that the demand we place upon the beloved is, quite simply, impossible. We expect one person to be our secure harbor, our unwavering witness, the source of comfort and predictability, and simultaneously, the agent of ecstatic risk, the keeper of mystery, the key to our personal, internal adventure. And you see, this is why so many of us feel chronically starved, perpetually dissatisfied. We are operating from a faulty architectural blueprint. We are demanding that the same structure provides both the perfect shelter from the storm and the perfect storm itself. The mature relationship, the sustainable one, requires us to finally dismantle the myth of the myth that one single human can fulfill all our competing, contradictory emotional needs. We must learn to cherish the distance that allows desire to breathe. We must stop trying to absorb our partner into ourselves, dissolving the boundaries until we are merely a comfortable, suffocating oneness. Remember this distinction. It is the key to enduring vitality. Love is a place you have. It is the home, the rootedness, the safe return. Desire is a place you go. It is the journey, the curiosity, the respectful separation that allows you to see them, once again, as a fascinating, unknowable stranger. The mature solution is not to find the perfect partner. They do not exist, but to build a wider, more resilient ecosystem of fulfillment. We must invite others in, our friends, our passions, our solitude, to relieve the exhausting pressure we have placed on this central relationship unit. It is not a problem to be solved, my friends. It is a paradox to be managed intelligently, continuously, and with immense compassion for the impossible burden we placed on those we love the most. To choose love is to accept the paradox. To understand that the feeling of absolute certainty often kills the erotic charge, which thrives only in the presence of uncertainty and the risk of loss. The air must be allowed to circulate. We must embrace the necessary, heartbreaking reality that our partner is not here to complete us. They are here to accompany us as two separate, sovereign beings on the difficult, beautiful journey of self-completion. And this is where the conversation truly begins. If you are ready to understand the silence between you, subscribe to When Love Grows Quiet. Tell me in the comments, When was the last time you looked at your partner and truly saw a stranger? I want to read your story.